Let's warm up by bouncing on the ball. As you take a deep breath in, reach the arms up to the sky. And as you slowly exhale, allow the arms to float back down. Feel the connection of the feet into the ground. That's our stability. And you can make the bounces as big or as small as you like. A few more bounces, and then we'll just gradually allow the movement to subside. Let's clasp the hands behind the head and use the hands to lengthen the neck and feel how that influences the length of the whole spine. Each exhalation, find the gentle contraction of the pelvic floor and bring the navel towards the spine. Walking the feet forwards until your back is comfortably supported on the ball. Open your chest, taking the head back, opening the elbows as far as feels comfortable. Exhale, draw your navel in towards the ball. Float your head and shoulders up. Squeeze all the air out of the lungs. Inhale, opening back as far as you can. Exhale, coming up, strengthening the center. Keep lots of space in between the ears and the shoulders. And inhale, open all the way back. Let's just start a very gentle rocking forwards and back. Gently bending and straightening the knees. Make sure your back is fully supported in a way that feels right for your back. Let's roll up. Reach your fingertips up to the sky and then walking your feet back. And sitting on the ball, just allow the head to drop. And again, gently bending and straightening the legs. So we're beginning to open the back body. Rolling up one vertebra at a time. Again, clasping the hands behind the head and using the hands to lengthen the neck, lengthen the spine. Walk the feet forward so that your back is supported by the ball. Open the chest. Inhale. Exhale, drawing the navel towards the ball and coming up to a chest lift. Each time you exhale, deepen the work of the stomach so much that the legs begin to lengthen. And deepen the stomach, reach the fingertips forwards. We're going to walk the feet back towards the ball, opening your legs slightly so that you can really drop the chest in between the legs. And again, bending and stretching, maybe a little bit deeper this time. The body's a little bit warmer now. Really allow the weight of the head to drop down towards the floor. And drawing the stomach in to slowly roll up, vertebra after vertebra. Clasping the hands behind the head, lengthening up. We're going to start rolling the hips forwards, walking the feet forwards. Opening the chest back as far as possible, taking a deep breath in and exhaling to bring the head and shoulders up. We're going to reach the arms forwards. I'm going to start pumping with the breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really pump the arms vigorously. That's going to challenge the stability of the ball, and use your center to stabilize it so it moves as little as possible. And relax, taking the arms all the way back. Make sure your neck is supported by the ball. Straighten the legs to reach the fingertips back towards the floor. And we're going to start circling to get a really nice opening in the shoulders. So opening the arms back, and then as you bend the knees, take the arms forwards. You can change the direction. Make it as big or as small as you need to get that sense of opening through the front of the body. Reach the fingertips up, lift the head, and we're going to start coming back using the stomach. And reach forwards on a long diagonal, relaxing the head and really stretching the whole back of the body, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Position the feet so that they're hip width apart, pressing into the floor. Clasp the hands, reach them forwards and up, lengthening through the sides of the waist. And we're going to take small hip circles, so isolating the movement from the waist down in one direction, and then in the other direction, creating lots of space in between the hips and the ribs. into a twist. Right hand presses against the left knee, left hand on the ball. Keep lengthening through the spine as you rotate the head and shoulders. And other side. Think of keeping your knees and your hips facing forwards as your head and shoulders twist to the back. Let's challenge the balance. So bringing the legs close together to create a narrow base, palms together at your heart, and if you feel you can, close your eyes. Let's take a twist here, lengthening the spine forwards, this time pressing the right elbow against the left knee and opening the left elbow up to the sky. Keep lengthening forwards, pressing the inside thighs together, and to the other side. Elbow presses against the knee, and the right elbow up towards the sky. Opening the legs in a nice wide position, and we'll take the hip circles. And this time we're just going to allow the movement of the hips to influence the body in any way that feels good. Let's play with transferring the weight onto the feet, lengthening the top of the head forwards and coming back to the ball. So the hips just hover a tiny bit off the ball and coming back as if your pelvic floor is lifting you up. Bring the ball between the legs, squeezing the knees together, opening the arms, and we'll take a spine twist, reaching the arms out long, opening the chest. Keep squeezing the ball to activate your inside thighs and the pelvic floor. And then just swinging the arms from side to side, allowing your hands to awaken different parts of your back and your shoulders. Just place the hands on the ball and walk the ball away so that the spine is as long as possible. And then we'll curl the tailbone down, lift the stomach to a cat stretch, and stretching the ball away, bending your knees to create even more length in the spine. As the legs straighten, the tailbone curls down, stomach lifts up into a cat, and then reaching the spine long, bending the knees. Press the hands down into the ball, glide the shoulder blades down the back, open the chest, gaze forward, and then reaching forward, lengthening the spine. Press the hands down, open the chest, look forward, keep your stomach long, and reach forward, seeing how far you can lengthen your back, and rolling up, bring the ball towards you, take it into your hands. Reach the ball up to the ceiling, press into the ball with your hands, press into the floor with your feet, and draw the navel in towards the spine. We're going to take a squat. You can bend your knees as deeply as you want, and each time you bend the knees, lengthen the ball up, press, squeeze the hands into the ball, keep the stomach supporting the spine, keeping the chest open. Place the ball back on the floor, walk the hands out, lengthen the spine, then bending the right knee, looking underneath the right arm, opening the whole right side of the body, and change legs. Again, bending one knee, stretching the arms out as much as possible, and the other one lengthening the sides of the body. Open the legs to wide turned out position, bending the knees for a deep plie and stretching. Let's walk the ball over to the left. Bend the right knee as you reach the ball to the left and stretch. We'll do that a few times, getting a really nice stretch on the right side of the body. And then taking the ball over to the right, bending the left knee. So now we're opening the left side of the body. Bring the ball back to center, parallel the feet, reach the arms on the ball as far as possible so you get a really good stretch on the spine, and then rolling the tailbone to come up to standing. Let's work on balance. So right foot gently on the ball, left foot presses into the floor, reach the head up, and we're going to reach the right leg forwards and bend it back. Keep lengthening the supporting leg, keep lengthening the spine. Shoulders down away from the ears, and let's take a twist. Left hand over the right knee, right hand on your lower back, reach up and rotate even more. Coming back to center. We're going to add the spine twist with the arm. So as the leg reaches out, we're going to rotate towards the leg and coming back. Let's see if we can challenge the balance by lifting up the left heel and coming forwards to a lunge. Right leg forwards. Sweep the arms up towards the ceiling, opening the chest. Reach forward as far as possible, placing the left hand on the floor and opening the right hand up towards the ceiling, opening the chest. Drop the head to release over, and then coming up, finding the balance in the lunge. You can use your hands on the ball if you want. Let's open up into a warrior position. Right knee open, left foot presses into the floor. Lengthen the left arm so you stretch the left side, and then to the other side, the left hand slides down the left leg. Again, stretching to the right. You can place the right hand on the floor to deepen the stretch. And one more time towards the left. Let's open the legs in a wide position, and we'll take the hip circles here, rotating in one direction and then changing to the other direction and taking a few bounces to bring the legs together, and then opening and closing so we're walking to the other side. Keep bouncing until you come up off the ball, and let's take that whole thing to the other side. Left foot gently on the ball. Right foot presses into the floor, using the hands to lengthen the top of the head up and extending the left leg forwards and bending it back in. Each time you extend the leg forward, think of the top of the head reaching up even more towards the sky and keeping there when you come back. Twist by placing the right hand over the left knee, left hand on the lower back, lengthening up even more. Come back to center, stretching the leg out. Challenge the balance by lifting the heel if possible, and then coming forwards to a lunge. Pressing the hands into the ball if necessary, or if you can, reach the arms up, opening the chest, and reach forward as far as possible. Right hand stays on the floor, left hand reaches up to the sky, opening the chest. Relaxing back down with the head, and then slowly finding the stability, coming back up to a lunge. Opening up into the warrior position, left knee bent, right foot presses into the floor and stretching, reaching, opening the side of the ribs and to the other side, so the hand glides down towards the foot. And again, maybe deepening the stretch by placing the left hand on the floor, reaching the right hand up towards the sky and all the way to the other side. Wide position of the legs and circling the hips in one direction and in the other direction, and then bouncing the feet together and walking one foot and then joining the other. Keep bouncing until the feet press into the floor and coming up to standing. Let's transition to lying with the stomach on the ball, placing the hands and feet in a comfortable position and breathing. Each time you exhale, draw the navel in towards the spine as if you're giving space for the ball to breathe. Let's play with transferring weight forwards onto the hands and then back towards the feet. Feel the connection of the hands down into the floor, coming forwards until your shoulders are directly over your wrists, lifting the stomach to protect the spine, rocking backwards and forwards. Coming forward to a plank position, stabilizing the shoulder girdle. From here we'll go into single leg kick. Keep the hands pressing into the floor. Keep the chest open and 2 kicks of the heel towards the hips. Relaxing back, feet to the floor, head drops down. So another challenge for balance. We're going to lift the left hand and the right leg, reach them up and away from each other, and then back down to the floor. And then the other side, so it's the opposite arm to leg, reach away, lengthen away, and relax down. You can either keep a soft bend in the knee or straighten the leg. And this exercise will wake up the muscles that stabilize the spine. Let's walk ourselves forwards again to the plank, maybe a little bit further this time. Bending the elbows back towards the ball, bending the knees, rock the weight backwards and forwards, straightening the elbows, straightening the legs. So see how this feels for your back. You can go as deep as you like, as long as there's no pain or pinching in the lower back. Bring both feet and hands to the floor. Stomach rests on the ball, and we're going to circle, sort of like massaging the stomach onto the ball. So we're transferring the weight from one hand to the other, to the same foot, to the other foot, and circling in the other direction, really playing with that movement. Walking the hands forward into a plank, the knees at the center of the ball, and draw the stomach in. We're going to come to a rest position with the tailbone towards the heels, the head dropping down towards the ball, and reaching it back out into a plank, shoulders down away from the ears. Really initiate the movement from the deep contraction of the stomach and allow the tailbone to rest on the heels, the head to drop down towards the ball. And notice how the breath flows in and out, and how much can we relax the body in this position. And coming back to rest with the stomach on the ball, noticing the breath and noticing that each exhalation the navel draws into the back, allowing the ball more space to breathe. Coming to lying on our backs with the legs propped up on the ball, hands on the lower stomach, taking a deep breath in and breathing out, softening the body into the floor. Opening the arms wide to the sides, we'll take side to side as both knees drop to one side as you inhale. Exhaling, feeling the oblique muscles bringing the ball back. Going from side to side as far as you can without losing the ball. Feel the connection of the arms into the floor and see if you can challenge yourself by taking your legs a little bit further each time. Deep breath in and exhaling, initiating from the deep muscles of the stomach. Clasping the hands behind the head, lifting the head and shoulders up for a chest lift, drawing the navel towards the spine, and each exhalation softening the chest, lengthening the spine, and relax. Feet on the ball, reach the fingertips up, and then inhale, reaching the toes and the fingertips away from each other. Exhaling, circling the arms back, bringing the knees to the chest. Again, inhale, creating as much length as possible in the body. Exhaling, coming up for a chest lift, long arms, and pump the arms 400s. In 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep lengthening the fingertips towards the ball. Keep lengthening the tips of the toes. Keep drawing the navel in towards the spine. Relax the head. Take a minute to stretch, lengthening, and then bring the ball back and place the calves on the ball. Press the hands into the floor and going to roll the hips one vertebra after another and slowly rolling back down. Again, initiating the work from the deep muscles of the center, and you can go up as far as it feels good for your back. Keep the hands pressing into the floor and really massage each vertebra down on the way back. Take your legs up, bring the ball in between your legs, opening the arms, and we're going to circle the ball towards the ceiling in a modified corkscrew. So the bigger you make the circle, the more challenging it'll be. Take it to the other side. If you feel any discomfort in your back, you can always do that with the knees slightly bent to make it a bit easier. Take the ball into your hands and then throw and catch with the legs and throw it back to your arms. It's very playful. You generally find that it starts off tricky, and then as you become more confident, you can take the ball and throw it higher. Taking the ball in the hands, pressing both hands into the ball and slowly roll up. Place the ball on the feet and use the weight of the ball to stretch the point. Rolling to a long back, pressing with your hands on both sides of the ball and rolling down one vertebra after another, stretching the ball back. Roll up one vertebra at a time, pressing the hands into the ball. This time the ball's going to stay parallel to the floor through we reach the top of the head forwards, taking the navel back towards the spine and slowly with control rolling down one vertebra after another, and again bringing the ball in between your legs. Let's take a rollover, taking your legs back, squeeze with your legs into the ball and press your arms into the floor to help you control rolling down one vertebra after another. And again, initiating from the center, lengthening your toes to the back wall, lengthening your fingertips to the opposite wall. And slowly with control rolling down one vertebra after another. Take the ball in the hands, bend the knees, and again we'll take side to side, but this time we'll take the ball in the opposite direction to the knees. Let's do it again. Knees go to one side, ball goes to the other side, and this time we'll try and go all the way to the floor, so really getting a good twist throughout the body. And then to the other side, knees drop to the floor, one side, ball to the other side, stretching through the whole body. And coming back to center. It's a ball on the shins. Lift the head up and roll a few times up and down until we come to a sitting position. Open the legs to wide position, hands on the ball. Let's walk the ball as far forward as possible, at the same time taking the navel back as far as possible and coming back. Let's do it towards the right foot. So we're stretching on the diagonal, reaching the left sits bones down into the mat. And changing to the other side. One arm reaches forwards, the other hand can stabilize on the floor and coming back to center. Place the legs on the ball, hands press into the mat and pressing down to open, lift through the chest and release down. So that might be challenging enough. If you want a little bit more challenge, next time we're going to lift the hips up off the floor. Keep pressing the hands down, opening the chest as much as possible. And then release the hips down. Stretching the arms up and over, grabbing onto the legs and stretching into a teaser. Rolling down with control vertebra by vertebra. And then placing left foot on the ball, reaching the left foot and the ball forward as the right foot reaches up to the sky. Bending in and again stretching it out, holding on behind the leg and bringing the head and shoulders up towards the leg. Relax the head down and we'll take it into leg circles, drawing circles with the toes on the ceiling in one direction and then in the other direction, keeping the leg on the ball as stable as possible. And then taking it into a twist, reaching the right toes to the left. The left leg can react and go to the right and back. And once again, crossing the legs over, lengthening the right leg down towards the ball. And let's take the whole thing to the other side. Right leg on the ball lengthens out. Lengthen the left leg up to the ceiling and then holding on behind the left leg. Stretching behind the leg as you bring your head and shoulders up. Relax the head down. Leg circles with the left leg in one direction and then in the other direction, seeing how steady the rest of the body can be, and then taking the cross. Left leg reaches to the right and reaches all the way back down. For a bit more challenge, we can try that cross in the bridge position, lifting the hips as high as possible as we take the right leg to the left leg to the right, coming back and slowly rolling the hips down, lengthening the right leg down. Same thing on the other side, lifting up, left leg reaches up and then across, coming back with the hips high, slowly rolling down, lengthening the leg back to the ball. Let's come up and prop ourselves up on our forearms, pressing the forearms into the mat to open the chest. Feet on the ball and circling around in one direction, and then changing the direction. And then coming up onto our hands, pressing the hands into the floor, opening the chest, lengthening the legs, and opening to a wide position. Let's take a variation of the saw. The ball is on the inside of the right leg. The left hand reaches forward as the right hand reaches back. And then taking the ball on the outside of that leg, both hands on the ball reach forwards as the left sits bones reach down towards the floor. This time we're going to reach forwards and then walk the ball, so we're getting a really long diagonal through the body, reaching both arms forward and the leg back, opening both sides of the body and coming to a mermaid. One hand on the ball, the other hand reaches up and over, lifting the underneath side and lengthening the top side. And again, lengthening up, reaching over, getting a really good side stretch, and then both hands on the ball and walk the hands forwards, again lengthening both sides of the body, lifting the stomach. Next, extend the upper back by drawing the shoulders down, shining the heart forwards, opening the gaze and reaching back down, creating even more length through the spine. Shoulders drop down, chest opens, and we're going to come onto one knee, stretching the other leg out. The arm on the ball presses down to stabilize the shoulder blade and float the leg up. Lengthen and then lift it up and down. If you want extra challenge for stability, you can either take the hand up to the sky or clasp both hands behind your head and use them to keep lengthening the neck. Bend the knee and press the foot into the floor and bring yourself over to a place where you get a really good side stretch. And if you want extra challenge for balance, you can take the bottom hand off the floor and grab onto the top wrist, increasing the stretch. Coming back to sitting on the floor, stacking the top knee over the bottom knee, both hands on the floor, lengthening the body forwards and then dropping the head down to get a really good stretch for the side of your hips. Taking a deep breath in. And let's get organized to do all that on the other side. Wide position of the legs. The hands on the ball reach forwards as the navel reaches back and slowly rolling up for the saw. One hand on the ball, the other hand reaches back in the opposite direction, stretching between both hands and coming back up. Both hands on the ball, reaching forwards and then walking the ball so that you're in a long diagonal, reaching the leg back, reaching the hands forward so you get that beautiful long diagonal stretch. And from there coming to a mermaid. First, lengthening both sides of the body, one hand on the ball and the other hand reaches towards the ball and coming up. Again, up and over, stretching the side body and then twisting to put both hands on the ball and reach the ball forwards, lengthening the spine. Extend the upper back by drawing the shoulder blades down, gazing forwards and then reaching out as long as possible. Again, shoulders down, opening the chest, and we'll come up to prepare for the side kick kneeling. Bring the ball close to you and press the arm into the ball to stabilize the shoulder. The leg floats up and lengthens down. So you can have your other hand on the ball for stability, or reach the fingertips up towards the sky, or both hands behind the neck. And you could always do the full exercise of the side kick kneeling here, or just go into a side bend, finding the stability with both feet and one hand. And if you can, challenge that stability, taking the hand off the floor to increase the stretch on the side. Coming back to sitting on the floor, stacking the top knee over the bottom knee, reaching the hand forwards on the ball, dropping the head to get a stretch on the other side of the hip. Deep breath in and out. Coming up onto the knees, bringing the forearms onto the ball, drawing the navel into the spine and shoulders down away from the ears, just finding the balance. So you can challenge the balance by bringing the ball forwards and backwards a little bit, as much as possible without changing anything in the back. And if you want even more challenge, you can try that with your knees straight, finding the balance for a forearm plank. Let's come to a rest position, taking your tailbone back to your heels, hands on the ball and let the head drop down to the floor. So this should feel like a stretch for your shoulders. And come to lying on the ball. Again, hands on the ball, so feeling that shoulder stretch, pressing the arms down to lift the head and shoulders up, opening the chest and releasing forwards as the legs lift up to a swan dive. The higher your arms are up on the ball, the deeper the stretch in the shoulders will be. Let's add a rotation to the extension. One hand stays on the ball as the other hand presses down into the floor. First lengthening up and then rotating, looking towards the shoulder and changing hands. Hand on the ball, the other hand presses down, lengthening as you rotate, looking towards the shoulder and coming back down. Again, pressing down with the hand into the floor to help lengthen and rotate. And both hands on the ball. And just play with the ball from side to side. The closer the hands are together, the more challenging it'll be for the shoulders. So if it's too much, just open the arms a little bit wider. And then bring the ball towards you and come back to lying on the ball on your stomach. Take a moment to relax over. Take a deep breath in and out. And then just play with jumping forwards onto your hands and back toward your feet. If you're hovering for a moment in the air and then controlling the landing down and controlling the landing back. And you can really play with it, making it as big or as small as you want. Really try and soften the landing through the hands, almost like a big cat pouncing on its prey. And then let's come back to lying on the ball. So finding a place that feels very comfortable and supported. Opening the hands to the sides, opening the chest, opening the heart. And very gently rocking forwards and backwards. Coming to the breath. Noticing how the breath flows in and out. You might want to deepen the stretch by taking the arms further towards the floor, if that feels right for your back. And when you've had enough, lift the head and shoulders up. Use a deep stomach muscles to bring you back up to a sitting position, opening the legs and letting the head drop over, lifting the sits bones up off the ball. Take a moment to let the head hang very heavy and then press the feet into the floor and slowly coming up one vertebra at a time. Reach your arms up, take a deep breath in, bring the palms of the hand together and bring the hands towards your heart. Thank you for doing this class with me.